How's it going, everybody? My name is Brady with GEN3 Today we're going to show you how to install our GEN3 Tacoma mud flaps on this 2017 Tacoma. So let's grab the mud flaps and get into it. So when you receive your mud flaps in the mail, it'll come in a box like this. And when you go ahead and open it, you'll see a sticker right here with our URL to our instructions page and also a QR code you can scan. The mud flaps are going to be right here, bubble wrapped and heat sealed. And then in this compartment, you got your hardware, your front, and your rear. So after you've taken everything out of the box, you want to make sure you have 2 front mud flaps and 2 rear mud flaps. Then what you want to do is pull up the instruction page while you go through the hardware to make sure you received everything you need. In the front hardware, you want 2 short spacers, 4 self-tapping 1-inch screws, and 2 self-tapping 2-inch screws, and 8 washers. In the rear hardware, you want 2 long spacers, 6 self-tapping 1-inch screws, 2 self-tapping 2.5-inch screws, and 10 washers. Now the tools you'll need for install is a ratchet, a 3/8 socket, a number 10 socket for the factory screws, and a level. So the first location we're going to mount is this inside location here, which requires a spacer. So we're going to go ahead and show you how to mount that spacer on here so you can get them installed. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to take your 2-inch screw with a washer, slide it in from the back, and you want to grab another washer. Slide it in from the front, and then go ahead and mount your spacer, slide it down. Now before we begin mounting the mud flaps, we're going to need to remove these factory screws from their locations using our number 10 socket. Now that we have those removed, we're going to first mount our inside location. You can just do this hand tight. And then we're going to grab our 1-inch self-tapping screws with a washer and go ahead and secure these outside locations. Again, hand tight. Now before we tighten all these screws down, you want to make sure that the mud flap is level and you have your desired placement of the mud flaps in or out. So now that the mud flap is level and we have the desired location, we're going to go ahead and tighten down these 3 screws. And one thing I want to point out, because there are other videos out there that say that the long spacer goes in the front, that is incorrect. The short spacer in fact goes in the front because this pulls the mud flap closer to the fender well to prevent any rubbing on your tire. So we're going to go ahead and mount these. And you're all done. Now let's move on to the rear. So with the rear, just like the front, with the inside mounting location, you're going to stick your screw with the washer through the back, apply a washer in the front, and then go ahead and slide your spacer down. Now that you got your spacer on the mud flap, we're going to need to remove these factory screws so we can begin mounting the mud flap. So now that you got your factory screws removed, you're going to go ahead and start with the inside mounting location again, just like the front. Just screw that hand tight. And then you're going to grab your 1-inch screws with spacers and go ahead and hand tighten these down. Now before you tighten these screws down, you want to grab your level, make sure the mud flaps are level, and you got your desired location. Now that our mud flap is level and we have our desired location, we're going to go ahead and tighten all these screws down. And there you go. Thank you for watching the install video of our GEN3 Tacoma mud flaps. If you have any questions or concern, you can email us or call us at the contact info below. Leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can get updated when we release our next video. Thank you, and see you next time.